Welcome, everybody, on out to another edition of the Living Deadwax podcast. I am your host, Ty, joined by my co host, Tyler. I chose tonight's topic. We'll get to that in a minute. Tyler, how are you doing tonight, man?
Hey, man. It's a great night. Highlight of the week. Always happy to do this. Always have a beer talking with you about a bunch of bullshit that only nerd weirdos like ourselves are into. Love it.
Very true. It is a good midweek break. I do
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's like a good, all right, we're on the downside starting tomorrow, almost the weekend. So
Exactly.
I do appreciate it for that aspect of it. If you are new here, welcome in. We do music and vinyl and or music / vinyl related topics here on this channel. If you are coming back, welcome back. Thanks for coming back after watching some of our content. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Tonight, we are doing a new topic here on the channel, something I hope that can become a regular bit or maybe its own episodes every once a month or something. We are doing bin or spin. And bin or spin is it's a game everybody's played. I just came up with that catchy name for it. Basically it's you pair up a band or an artist or a song or a record against another thing of that nature, and you ask the person bin or spin, and they have to choose one, and the other one disappears out of their life forever. Now they still remember it, but anytime they hear a song or a record or they see this person on TV, it's just static. So it kind of makes it worse because you know what's going on. Like if you're driving the radio, you're listening to satellite, and boom comes up, you see it, but you don't hear anything. So you know what you're missing. So it's a very supernatural experience. And I chose a bunch that are Tyler related, and Tyler hopefully chose a bunch that are Ty related. And if not, this is going to get really weird. But so I'm looking forward to it. I hope you had fun choosing your stuff. I did. And what are your overall thoughts here of it before we get into it?
I think it's been really fun. No, I think it's been really fun. I did a handful of like serious ones that I think you might be battling with, and I did a handful of like fun ones that are more like, more supernaturally and more like, kind of big life questions a little bit. But it was fun. It was fun seeking things out and coming up with stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes, and we can bounce off each other, and us the conversation might lead to more topics or something later down the road that you think of. So I mean, we play this game outside of the podcast, so we'll see what happens here. But Tyler, if you want to get into the first bin or spin for myself, go right ahead. By the way, too, do all the YouTube stuff. We always appreciate it. Thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below too. Have you ever played this type of game with your friends? If you have any suggestions for us, leave them down below. We appreciate it. But without further ado, Tyler, take it away.
All right. Also, I was going to mention the break in the week. So therapy's on Thursdays. Therapy's tomorrow. So it's also something I can talk about in therapy because my therapist always asks me. He always goes, "Did you guys do the podcast yesterday?" And he may or may not watch this. So shout out Mark if you're watching this. And then we always do a few minutes on whatever the podcast is. And he's like, "What'd you say? What did he say?" And then we do that whole thing. And then when Ty picks episodes that suck, I can just bitch about Ty for the whole hour. So it gives me something to bitch about in therapy. So there you go.
There you go.
I'm just kidding. But I did show him the YouTube channel, so he may be a subscriber here. Who knows? But shout out. All right,
come on in.
So I did do a couple, like I said, some serious ones. The first one that came to mind here to kind of brain busters for you. All right, so
do one, and then we'll bounce back and forth.
Well, of course, yeah.
Okay.
So All right, so this is. Would you so bin or spin? I guess I'll just kick it off like that. Slayer, Megadeth, where are you at? Because I know there's certain things you're out on for both bands, and you do love both bands, and I know both bands hold pretty dear to you, near and dear to your heart. I know that you enjoy and you celebrate both bands pretty heavily. So that would kind of come first for me.
Okay. You know, it's funny is I was going through a list in my head of like stuff you could pick, and this was one of the ones. So I kind of already was
Okay.
pre-thinking about this.
Okay. Nice.
Um, that's tough, man. It's tough. I think I would spin Slayer and bin Megadeth. Now here's the reason why.
Wow. Okay.
Here's the reason why. Megadeth has been in my life longer. So my reasoning is kind of reverse.
Okay.
I think I've heard all I can hear of Megadeth. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been like I've heard it's probably like 8 years old. Like there's a Megadeth versions of Megadeth songs like in my life, you know. Whereas Slayer, I really didn't get into Slayer until like probably high school, like early high school. When I started, now my uncles are into Slayer and stuff, but it's not something that like permeated into us. Slayer was kind of a band I discovered on my own.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Josh didn't have any Slayer stuff. He had Megadeth stuff, Metallica stuff, but like, yeah, honestly, Slayer was something like, honestly, like 2005, 2006. When I started discovering more extreme music. So
That
I
makes
think that's
sense.
my reasoning. I think that's my reasoning is like when I listen to Slayer, like it's not as played out as listening to Megadeth, where I still love all the Megadeth shit. So I think like if I had to get rid of it, I would be okay because I'm like, oh, I've had my fill. Whereas Slayer, I still like there's still love to build. So
that's fair. So, a question for you. When when I thought about this, I thought that your idea is like you still know it exists. I was kind of under the impression initially that it was gone from your brain, like you lost it, like it was gone,
oh,
like you no longer knew
I
what Holy War sounds like. You
I
no
kind of
longer
like.
know that.
I mean, maybe you lose the song, like maybe you lose the way it sounds, but I still like the fact that you still have some knowledge of it because, like I said,
And
like
you're
if I'm
missing it.
listening to Sirius and Megadeth comes on and Peace Cells comes on, I'm like,
Yeah,
man, I can hear that bass intro, but in my head, but I can't. And no matter how much I turn it up, it's just static. To
that's
me,
fair.
that's kind of like you know like you know what you're missing out on. It's kind of more worse than being ignorant.
That's fair. Yeah, because you do know what you're missing out. That's fair. That's fair. I like that. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So
Um,
Megadeth, Slayer. There you go.
yeah,
Answers.
I'm gonna go with spinning Slayer and binning Megadeth. This is not my question, but really quick, what would you pick? Because I know you like both
So
bands to varying
I
degrees.
do like both. I have been way more recently listening to a lot more Megadeth than I have Slayer. So because you have a lot more longevity and a lot more miles, but both these bands than I do, by a
Mhm.
long shot, right? But more recently, I've definitely gotten into more Megadeth than I have Slayer because you enjoy the really early Slayer stuff too,
Oh
which
yeah.
I don't necessarily dive into that often.
Mm.
I don't dislike it necessarily, but I don't go there very often. So it kind of limits my, like I said, my Slayer stuff. But I go almost all the way back with Megadeth. I don't have a record necessarily from the old days. Obviously, I don't really listen to a lot of the newer stuff. I still need to check out the new record too, which I know you're a
Mhm.
huge fan of.
Yeah, it's good.
I think I would flip it. I think I might bin Slayer and play and keep going with Megadeth and
Okay,
spin Megadeth.
gotcha,
There you go.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just if anything's like relevant to both of us, we can kind of double dip
Yeah.
too. But all right. I don't know what to do. I don't know if to do just like a light one or just get to the heavy hitter first. All right. Let's do my example one. We didn't really get the answer from last
Okay.
week. I did bin or spin, Van Halen or Guns N' Roses.
All right. So that sucks because I do love both of these bands. Um, so I've thought about that. You do have so many more records with Van Halen, so you'd be
Mhm.
missing out a lot more music. Because you weigh it two ways. Because I think personally, I think that if I don't have the numbers here, and I also don't listen to a lot of terrestrial radio, And I listen to Sirius every so often, and I listen obviously when we're together, we're in the car or whatever. We hear a lot more Guns than we do Van Halen. So I'm missing out on, at least on a mainstream level, I'm missing out on a lot more if I pick Guns, I guess, right? And a mainstream, like playing it all the time, like you're not going to hear Sweet Child of Mine, whatever. And so there's a little, and then, I have a lot more to enjoy with Van Halen. I don't know, man. It's rough. I think at this juncture right now, today, as you ask me, I might say Van Halen. That I would spin Van Halen, bin Guns N' Roses, just because there's just so much more in the discography. And it's you can dive into stuff, and there's still stuff, even though we did the ranking and what have you, there's still stuff that I haven't really necessarily dove into heavily, and I can go back on those records and hear it all over again. And you also have like live sets, and you have like, well, I guess not necessarily for Van Halen, but you have like demos and shit, and everything else you can kind of dive into and whatever. And I definitely have had my fill of Guns, especially obviously like the 7 or 8 songs. You've heard those a billion times, even though I personally, Ty is the exact opposite here. He will turn the station every fucking time Guns N' Roses comes on, damn near every time, just because it's the same 5-7 songs. Same 4 songs. But so yeah, so I would spin Van Halen, I'd bin Guns at this moment in time.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way on that question. It's way easier for me, but like you're saying, you have way more to dive into with Van Halen. Plus, you almost have 2 completely different bands.
Yeah, different.
Like
different
I get same guys, but like the band changed so much, and sound wise, and the production on those records, the Sammy records, and their style of songwriting. Yeah, so
100%.
Plus, I mean, why would you ever want to fucking get rid of Van Halen 3?
It's true. That is true. I also don't think you'd be able to get rid of Dreams, so I knew your answer before you even uttered that.
Yeah, 100%.
Gotta keep it.
All righty. Back to you.
So, all right. So, another volley back. All right. So, I did do a couple that I'm not an expert in at all, right? So, these might be, so I know enough, but I don't know everything.
I did the same thing. So,
okay, fair. So I don't know if these are apt comparisons, and I guess you probably have a little. You can volley go back to me the same way. Okay, bin or spin, Immortal, Enslaved.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
and they don't have to be like in the same genre either. Like that kind of makes it more fun. But
that's fair. Okay, that's fair.
Fuck, that's a really rough one, man.
Yeah.
I feel like the Enslaved catalog, you have way more to listen to. And it's all different. Like it's different every time because they're way more progressive. Where Immortal, like there is a shift in records. Like you get to a point where they become way more melodic and way more like riff oriented and way more classic rock, heavy metal influence than black metal. Like the first couple records are really raw, just straight black metal, Norwegian black metal. But I don't know, man. I don't get tired of those Immortal songs. I would probably
it's not a good job. So the Immortal, what do you prefer for that particular band? What do you prefer if you had to? If I was a bin or spin the two sounds of Immortal or the different sounds of what would you do? What is your preference there?
I would say the latter day stuff, like when they got more melodic, is more fun to me. Not that I can't listen to the really raw stuff. I do, but I just think I'm drawn more for whatever reason for that particular band to their more riff oriented, like melodic shit.
That's fair.
Going back to the Enslaved Immortal argument, I think I would bin Enslaved and I would spin Immortal. I love Enslaved, man, but I think it's weird though. That's a tough one. That's a good one because like Enslaved, there's so much to listen to all the time. There's still shit that I've never listened to or barely have listened to.
Yeah,
because there's just a lot of it, and
88,
and it's so no, Enslaved's like 90. They're both around the same time. That's why it's a really good choice.
Okay,
both from Norway. They both came up in the same exact scene, both early 90s. So there's a lot of music on both sides, but Enslaved is way denser. it's like if I was going to ask you to listen to Rush or Van Halen. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like Van Halen,
Yeah.
you know what you're getting every time, whereas Rush, like you're getting 20-minute fucking songs sometimes, shit like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I would spin Immortal, Bin, Enslaved for tonight, just because I do enjoy listening to those like 3, like At the Heart of Winter and Sons of Northern Darkness, and fuck, even the last record, Demon Oz did basically by himself. And the new record comes out next month. Or end of this month. I'm really excited for. So, yeah, that's where I'm going with right now.
Okay. Did you pre-order
So
the new record?
I did. Yeah, I have it coming from Nuclear Blast. I pre-ordered one of the variants on there. So that'll show up eventually when we do another vinyl haul. Yeah, that's where I'm going. I would spin Immortal and bin Enslaved. If you ask me that tomorrow, I might change. Because I love the new Enslaved record too. I love the new Enslaved record so much. But I've only listened to it like 3 or 4 times. But like they're the type of band where you listen to the shit and like a month later you just hear different stuff. So that's why that's a really hard question.
Yeah, I like that most about bands. I like bands that are hard to like digest. Like initially, even your favorite bands, not even necessarily hard to digest, but you're not hearing everything. So if you spend a week and a half listening to it straight, you're still hearing new things. But if you come back to it a month later, you're hearing even more new things. You're hearing more weird stuff you never even had a perception of. But once you start learning the songs, you start learning like the sonics and everything else, and then you start hearing more and more because it's just new stuff just hit your ears differently. I like that. It's always fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. That's a good question. That was a really good one. I'm gonna go with one that would just be kind of interesting because these bands. I was listening to a '90s playlist, and both these bands played back to back, so I was like, that'd be a good one. And it'd be a good one. I could choose an option here too. I'm gonna go bin or spin, The Offspring or Green Day.
All right, that's a pretty good one. So I think Offspring. I think Green Day has more songs that I like among the whole catalog. I think they have more songs that I like. But
Green Day does?
I think they do. Yeah, I think they do.
Oh wow.
But
Okay.
I hold Offspring songs in a different because they're like my third like CD ever. Like and it was a time where I didn't have any, right? So like when my dad bought me Americana, they were my favorite band at that point. It was them and Blink, and it was honestly like it was more Offspring because they were more on TV than Blink was at the time. So like I saw that a lot more, and I listened to Americana, and I to this day know every moment of that record front to back. Just I memorized it all, and I haven't listened to that record probably in 10 years, but it's still just emblazoned on my brain. And I hold those hits in a higher register than I do the Green Day stuff. I think, even though, like I said, I think there are more Green Day songs I like than Offspring, especially because I've been out on both bands for 15 years, maybe. Right? It's been a long time since you actually like wanted to check out those records and whatever. But it's gonna be rough because Green Day is. I mean, Green Day's a way bigger band, and I would be missing out on a lot more in the world.
You also could never. You could also in this world too. You could go see them, but you're not hearing anything.
Yeah, which is that's a weird.
So think about that too. You got to think about who you've seen and haven't seen too.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I've seen Offspring. I've not seen Green Day.
So I don't know if that helps or.
Yeah. And Green Day, I think Green Day might have more records at this point too. Even if they're ones I don't listen to necessarily. Fuck it. I'll bin Green Day and I'll spin Offspring. I think I would do that. Just based on the fact that I have so much more reverence for those hits and for those tracks, because it was the only CDs I had were, Americana, and then once Greatest Hits came out, I was one of 12 CDs I had at that point. So it's like, it's, it just sucked. So, sucked to not have more, I guess. But yeah. So I think I'm gonna bin Green Day and spin Offspring.
Wow, I didn't think you were gonna go there. I thought you were gonna go the other way. I thought you were gonna get rid of Offspring.
I mean,
But I would say the same
You.
thing.
Okay.
I would say that easily the same thing. I do like Dookie quite a bit still, and like those songs on there when they come up on playlists and stuff. I'll still listen to those. Outside of that, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of the shit's overplayed. And Offspring, I have such a nostalgic pull to Offspring where they are overplayed, but they're not for me personally.
Yeah. Same.
So those big Offspring songs, I still love when I hear them. So yeah, I would go the same way. So there you go.
Yeah. I for some reason, whenever I think about Offspring, or not every time, but a lot of the time, I think about when CM Punk got on Twitter. One of his reasons going on Twitter was there was somebody didn't want on Twitter originally, but once he saw that somebody was imitating him on Twitter and saying insane things, awful things on there, is what he said. They're awful, evil things. Like they were like Offspring. I had to get on there. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like, God damn, you have a disdain for the Offspring. I'm not saying they're the greatest, whatever band, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's a funny one.
Yeah. All right. So got another for you here. And it seems easy to me, but I also know that it could be harder than I think it is. Alice in Chains, first run, second run records.
Oh, okay. Nice. Good option. I didn't do anything like that to compare the same band.
Especially if you look through the lens of what you just said, that you've heard some songs so many times. I don't know if that factors in all for you in these records, these cases, but that does mean something possibly.
Really weird too, because obviously I will. When Alice Chains comes back here, I will go see them. So, in this hypothetical world, when they play the era that I don't choose, I just don't hear those songs.
I really didn't think about that angle on it. That is a weird angle. Fair enough.
Man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I would go. I think I'm gonna bin the William era and spin the Lane era. That's a tough choice. I really love all the reunion records. They're really good. They're really, really good. And I think they're underrated. But I still listen to the older shit more. Just through playlists, and anytime I choose any Alice in Chains, it's usually from that era. I don't know, it's just nostalgia. I don't know. Like sometimes that pull is really hard to break from. And like when you've heard, those records, I mean, I've heard Dirt so many times since I was 5 years old. I'm just like, okay, listen to it again. So yeah, 100%. I think I would bin the William era and spin the Lane era. As tough as that is, that's a good choice, good option.
Yeah, that's what I thought you would do. But I thought, yeah, I didn't think it would be super easy, but that's what I thought you'd do, because I know you do love the William records so much, and like I said, you've had less time with them, so you maybe the Lane stuff is not fucked out or hasn't been fucked out for you, but obviously that stuff is just so, especially for you and for your life, that just so it's crazy. So I get it. That makes sense. FNA.
All right, I'm gonna go with one here that I think is kind of. I wanted to pair this band up with another band. It was tough to choose. I'm going to go with bin or spin, AFI or Nine Inch Nails. It might be a really easy one, obviously, but I just wanted to.
Yeah. So I love both bands a lot. And I love, I guess Nine Inch Nails does have different eras, but they definitely have more of a sound than what AFI does, especially recently. AFI's a lot more eras. Shit. It's really easy. It's easy, but it's fucking. It's hard to say it like this, but it is easy. I would bin AFI. I would spin Nine Inch Nails every day of the week. I listen to so much Nine Inch Nails still to this day. I listen to Nine Inch Nails 4 days a week, probably. Something will come on, watch a video, watch a live set, whatever. With AFI, I throw it on. I don't throw on the new stuff as much as I probably should. From what I have taken from the new record, the newest record, and the EP, I like it. But I mean, they are getting a little out there, I guess, maybe. But Nine Inch Nails, they always deliver every record so cool. And even when Trent tries new things, like the new EPs that he put out, even when he tries new things, they still kind of work. And I think there's a lot more interesting material there, possibly. But also, the thing I didn't think about is Nine Inch Nails could end tomorrow. Like Trent, that's also like a rumor that maybe he doesn't come back, and that's going to be a thing. That's not a rumor, but that's like a thing that people like. What he might just never really want to do the band again. Like that could be a thing. He could just want to be a failure and end the band again. And so that's another thing. But yeah, I would say Nine Inch Nails. I'd pick Nine Inch Nails over AFI. So yeah, so bin AFI, spin Nine Inch Nails. There you go.
Okay.
But it is fucking tough. It is tough. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Fucking A. All right. I'll do a fun one. This is a fun one I had here.
Okay.
So it's more of a would you rather, but it's a bin or spin. Would you rather bin or spin, whatever, the Beatles for 5 years straight? All you hear is the Beatles. That's all you listen to. And this world is every time. So like the way I was doing it, every time you watch a movie, if it's a song, it's a Beatles song. Every time you hear a commercial, in the background, it's a Beatles song. And it's not the same ones. It's a whole catalog. So you get the entire catalog or whatever, right? But I know you're not a Beatles fan, right? And I know you have a disdain, if you will, for the Beatles. But so everything you ever hear is the Beatles songs, not including solo stuff. So I'm not giving you that much range here, but not including solo stuff. So you get all the Beatles songs, or so that's for 5 years. 5 years of that. Okay? Or 2 years of jam bands.
Oh my God.
And it's all the jam bands. I'm giving you all of them. So I'm giving you Fish, I'm giving you DMB, I'm giving you Grateful Dead, I'm giving you, whatever, whoever else is, in the genre like that. Fish.
So
whatever.
So like any movie I'm watching, it's fucking Grateful Dead.
100%.
No matter the
it's
movie.
established movies too. So like when you watch Apocalypse Now, the opening is no longer the Doors, it's Fish. Okay, they're figuring out a Fish song.
It might be better. I don't know.
That's okay. I'm
gonna
like you watch Dazed and Confused. It's no longer Sweet Emotion. It's fucking Getting
right.
Life. It's fucking something else.
I'm gonna keep this more in that realm, like the movie realm.
Okay.
Because I could just turn off the radio all the time. So like I don't need to listen to the radio. Like I could eliminate that from my life. Whereas like if I want to go to any other form of entertainment, like I'm gonna have to start watching way more movies and shit like that.
You're gonna give up. So you're just gonna give up Spotify. You can't listen to Spotify records anymore.
Okay. Yes, I'd have to give that up. So I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna bin the jam bands and go with the Beatles for 5 years. Here's my reasoning why. And I get it's a lesser thing. It's lesser years if you do the jam bands.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's more of an opportunity for the songs to fit if I'm watching something than I am with the jam bands. Like the songs are not going to fit. So you're just going to hear fucking DMB playing the fucking, I don't know.
The Godfather.
Halloween 1978. Yeah, or Godfather or something. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Whereas your odds of getting a good Beatles song that fits are probably higher.
Yeah. That's fair.
So
yeah, I mean, I guess it also in this universe, the Supernatural universe is it is designed like so it would try to fit it. Like they wouldn't just put in random songs. Things would try to fit it in this universe.
Okay,
so that makes sense.
I don't know though. I feel like for 5 years though, you're gonna run out of shit. I feel like after the first year, you're just gonna start getting repeats and shit.
100%.
Whereas with the jam bands, you got 2 years and so many more bands. I'm gonna stick to my choice, but that's a good one.
Okay. Yeah. So
what would you do?
5 years.
Those two things. I know you like the Beatles, so that's a weird, but
do.
It's still shitty. It's still a shitty situation to like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing the same because I do like the Beatles. I love the Beatles. Whatever. I'm not the biggest Beatles fan in the world, but I love the Beatles. But I would find more stimulation there because I like the songs to begin with. I hear those songs all the time anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like it's not it would be a major adjustment to watch certain movies or hear commercials or whatever the fuck be at fucking football games and shit. All you're hearing are Beatles songs and shit's all you got. Like everywhere you go, everything, everyone else is hearing what they're hearing, but you're hearing this. I think the Beatles. Yeah, I think that's my answer too. Fair enough.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I should have thought of more like gimmick questions like that.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
next
did
time.
half and half really, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll go with one. I'll go with an album one here. I'm gonna go Hysteria. Bin or spin, Hysteria or Appetite for Destruction?
Okay. All right. You stole one of mine, sort of,
Oh,
halfway. So
okay.
interesting. All
Cool.
right. So that's tough because I do love Appetite. As fucked out as it is, I do love it. It's rough because as someone who I think Def Leppard was my favorite band or whatever, most listened to band on Spotify 2 years in a row, after they got added, most heavily on Hysteria. I don't know, man. That's so hard. Especially if you look at it through the angle of like, while Def Lepp is, again, we already did the Guns thing, but as Def Lepp, they're not played as much as Guns is. So you're not losing as much on like a public, whatever side of things. But me personally, I pull for Hysteria way more than I pull for Def Leppard, especially as of recently. Or no, I pull for the way I do Appetite, especially as of recently. It's rough because I know it means like for life, like it's gone. It's not gone for a year. It's gone forever.
Yeah.
Shit. Gun to my head right now. Haha. I think I'm doing Hysteria over Appetite. Okay. Based on the fact that I haven't ran those songs into the ground as of yet. I have listened to them a billion times, but they haven't been helped out by the radio super recently.
No, like you hear really the only thing that's really overplayed from Hysteria is Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Yeah.
Like,
which
even Love Bites, who you hear sometimes in commercials and shit. It's like,
yeah.
But yeah. Whereas
Rock of Ages, you got Women, you got Hysteria.
Yeah, but I'm saying like a lot of those songs aren't as fucked out as the Appetite songs.
No, 100%, yeah. And then I'm saying all the other songs aren't really played like that, right? Even though they're fucking massive songs.
Yeah. So it's an easy choice for me, obviously.
Yeah, I think I know but I do Hysteria. I'd spin Hysteria, bin Appetite. And that sucks because it does mean forever. So that's where I'm going. Yeah.
All right.
That sucks. Son of a bitch.
God damn it.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. So, and then you're going to do the same, obviously, for much of the same reasoning, but maybe more intensely.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
All right. So, but good one. All right. I have two massive records. I'll do another record for you. Two massive records. Both played a trillion times a day all over the world. Somewhat related. Black Album versus Back in Black.
That's an easy one.
Okay.
I would bin Black Album and spin Back in Black.
Wow. Okay. I know you have a Back in Black. I know that. So maybe I should have thought of it a little further. But I know you love Back in Black for nostalgia's sake, especially.
Yeah, the nostalgic pull, really. And I mean, I like both records. I really do.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're as fucked out as people make them out to be. But
they both get played so much, though.
Yeah, but only certain songs. Like only like Hell's Bells and Back in Black. Like even it's basically just a title track. And like Black Album's just Enter Sandman. Like that's the really fucked out song.
Yeah, you do love Giving the Dog a Bone. Shook Me All Night Long. Have a Drink on Me.
True.
Rock and Rolling Noise Pollution. Shoot to Thrill.
Not as big though. Not as big as fucked out as Back in Black, the title track.
Yeah, you're right.
And really, with Black Album, it's Enter Sandman. Like that's the fucked out song. Like even Nothing Else Matters isn't that fucked out to me.
Yeah, I mean, so okay. So on this level, then, you wouldn't. So what? So it is back in or not to me. Is Enter Sandman the only song if it came on today you would skip on the radio?
Yeah,
Or would you skip?
probably, but I don't, but I probably would. I guess probably
Oh
the only
wow.
song.
Do you listen
Yeah,
to Enter Sandman?
I usually let it play out. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know.
I'm a little shocked by that.
Yeah, and I'll let Back in Black play out. So I don't know. Those records are both very big to me, but Back in Black way more important to me
Yeah.
as a
I looked at it
music
from
fan.
the fair enough. I looked at it from there. They're the biggest records for both those bands by far. They're
Yes,
also
yeah.
a change of pace, a change of form for both bands because obviously that's the first record with Brian and the massive appeal there and all the songs, and then for Metallica it's the big breakthrough mainstream record.
Yeah,
So
that's a
uh,
good. It's a good pairing, and it'd probably be better for somebody else. Just to have that. I have the nostalgic pull to Back in Black. Like it's the first
yeah,
piece of physical media that I ever owned.
yeah,
Myself, So yeah.
that's fair.
They're probably not. They're neither of them are the first records I would put on by both those bands. But
Yeah.
like I honestly listen to Highway to Hell probably way more than Back in Black now.
Wow. Okay.
But I mean, it's the record right before it, and they were kind of going
Yeah.
that same route anyway. It's different because it's still Bond, but you could kind of see, and the production's Mutt, so it's kind of the same.
Oh, I did not know Mutt did that record too. I honestly did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm almost positive.
I think
You
you're
can
right.
double
I think
check
you're
it,
right. Yeah.
but, so yeah, that's my reading. What would you choose?
So I listen to a lot more Metallica than I do AC/DC, but
Yeah.
I also looked at it from the angle of like the AC/DC stuff, but also Metallica. I was saying like you go to any sporting event, you watch anything on TV, like
Yeah, both those,
whatever
yeah.
you're.
Both those
Yeah,
albums, yeah.
both those bands have massive songs that are played every night, 1,000 times over at every arena in the world, right? I think I'm binning Back in Black and I'm spinning Black Album.
Okay.
I think I would do that. Like, yeah, I don't have that same nostalgia for the Back in Black. I also like. I don't think I've ever told you this before, but I remember when I was a kid, like especially when I was listening to the Alice Cooper radio show, because when he got his radio show in like 01, 02, whatever it was,
Yeah.
I listened to it every night. I think you did a lot of that until you realized that it was just playing the same shit over and over and over again, just being on the radio. But I remember listening to that like every night, being on AIM or whatever, and later MySpace and stuff. And I remember when he would play a lot of AC/DC, I didn't know at the time. I couldn't tell the difference between Bon and Brian. I didn't know there was a different singer. I just thought I was just like, he just sings differently. Like, and I probably didn't even think that, honestly. Like, I just never thought about, because I was so young, I never thought about like bands having multiple members. Like, I never thought that was like a thing. Like, it wasn't even a thing I entertained.
People don't die.
Yeah, I really went that route, right? Like, I remember he always would make a joke about Deep Purple, how there's been 1 million members of Deep Purple, and he's like one of the only people not to be in Deep Purple, Alice Cooper. That was a bumper. So like whatever. But yeah, I just remember that in the moment I was like, that's the same guy. If you would have told me that, I would have believed it, and I would never question you. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
fucking
Gotcha. All right.
All right.
Good pairing there.
No, back to you. Sorry, back to you.
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's do a heavy hitter here. One of the heavy hitters I got.
Sick.
Hold on, real quick too. Go back to my reasoning. I've never seen AC/DC, so if I ever have the chance to see AC/DC, and I don't hear those Back in Black songs, that would really suck. Where I've seen Metallica, and it'd be really weird to see them again in September and don't hear those.
Oh, also, yeah, but also that means that well, hold on, it's just a Black album though. So when we see them in September, it's just those songs.
That's what I mean. It'd be really weird, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. I got you.
So I've already heard some of those songs live, sort of, where I haven't seen any AC/DC songs live. So anyway, I'm gonna go with one of my heavy hitters here. I'm gonna go Blink 182 or 182, depending on where you are in the world, versus Jimmy Eat World.
Oh shit. All right.
So I'm going strictly nostalgic pull versus a band that you has a nostalgic pull, but you still actively love. So how
Absolutely.
much is the nostalgia worth to you?
Yeah. I mean, Blink is my first band. Like that was it. Like that was my first ever band that was my own. Like no one in my family liked Blink. My sister didn't like Blink 182. Like that was my first band, right? Um if we were to do this throughout any day in high school, you could not. It would not even be a question in my mind about how with Blink, right? It would not be a question on mine. But as I've gotten older, um, it's rough, man. Like because the nostalgia for Blink is definitely still there. And honestly, there's only a record and a half that for me as a 30-year-old man, there's like a record and a half that like truly like really hits me and really like I relate to and I still really feel those emotions behind those songs. Because I mean you just grow up, you get older and things happen and you deal with stuff and you know whatever.
Yeah. I don't know though. I kind of disagree there because like I still love Enema.
Yeah.
And like all the way through, even the stupid songs on there because I remember the nostalgia of growing up and listening to those songs. So it's not necessarily the lyrics, it's like me remembering.
But you would still remember
song.
that though, right? So I would still have those memories.
I guess, yeah. But it wouldn't get
direct.
triggered hearing it wouldn't get triggered though, like hearing the song. So you'd have to like actively
You're right.
recapture it. So I don't know. But
Yeah,
I get your point.
Yeah. And with Jimmy, it's like they've always written songs that today, like I can listen to the technically the first record, or technically the second record, excuse me, and still be fucking super into it and kind of go from there. I don't have a record with Jimmy World that I'm totally out on. I have multiple with Blink at this point, and that sucks to say. And it's not looking too great for the new record. Probably gonna be out on that too. Hopefully I'm
You
not.
didn't listen to that song. What are you talking about?
I don't have high hopes. I don't have any fucking high hopes here. When
They
Mark
sounded fine. I like the Coachella shit.
yeah. Oh, okay. Whoa. What the fuck are you talking about? They sounded fine. Mark sounded fine.
I think Tom sounds fine. I don't understand how you get so upset about it. Like
because he still does fucking Yoda bullshit. You don't have to do it. You didn't do it from 2000, from fucking 1993 until 2005. You didn't fucking do that. Okay? But then once you went to Angels and Airwaves and someone taught you how to sing or some shit, then you started doing that. It's fucking oh my god. I love the man to death, but god damn it. At this point in my life, it sucks. Horrible. I will bin Blink. I will spin Jimmy World. And it sucks to say. It's hard. It's rough, but that's where I'm at.
All right. I agree with it. I thought you were going there anyway, but figure I'd throw two heavy hitters. I got some heavy hitters coming, so that's not even the heaviest of hitters.
All right. That's okay. All right. I got another I'll do another fun one for you. Okay. This goes on two levels. It goes on both your levels here. So it's gonna push your shit on both of your loves. Would you rather, or spin or bin or spin, whatever, right? Every song you hear is Ass Man. Okay? Every piece of music is Ass Man, okay?
Fucking Billy Gunn's theme song?
The Billy Gunn theme song, WB. Every song is Ass Man, okay? Every bit of music, everything is Ass Man, okay? Or the only movie visual art you can ever fucking watch is Son-in-Law, the Pauly Shore movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to keep this like somewhat cool. You're just like going off deep end here.
Having fun.
So like any YouTube video, any TV show, any movie, any visual.
It's all Son-in-Law. And so anybody ever talks about new movies and shit, you're only talking about Son-in-Law. It's the only thing you talk about. You can't see the new movie, whatever. You also can't listen to the new record for bands. It's all ass.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna bin son-in-law.
Okay.
No. Vice
Yeah.
versa. I'm gonna
Okay.
spin son-in-law and bin ass man. Here's my reasoning.
Okay.
I think I could like. It'd be really difficult. Oh fuck, dude! I don't know. I didn't even think about video games.
I did
Oh.
that.
So I'd be getting rid of video games.
Yeah,
I was just like,
no,
I was
you're picking
thinking
visual versus audio.
Yeah, I was thinking in my head, I could get rid of movies. It would suck, but there's so many movies I don't watch that I own that I don't get to.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it would really suck getting rid of YouTube and Twitch, but I'm like, I get rid of it. And then I'm like, I can't even play video games anymore.
Yeah,
but then I'm like, at the same point, I'm like, I don't want to turn off music for the rest of my life because that's even harder because I listen to music every day.
every day.
I don't watch YouTube every day.
Yeah.
Maybe I do. It's close.
Yeah.
I definitely don't watch a movie every day.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is, too, I like to listen to music when I read. So if I'm reading a book, I like to listen to music. So, like, if I choose Ass Man, I'm listening to Ass Man in my headphones while I'm reading.
Yeah. I didn't know you did that.
God.
That's wild to me. I could never do that. Wow.
I have to.
In your headphones or like just out there?
Either way.
Okay, I can entertain it. Like if I put it on my stereo and I turn it down, I think I can do that. But actual like in my like direct in my ear, so I can't hear it. It would be too distracting for me. Wow, that's crazy.
I like usually, especially if I'm reading about a specific topic, like I will like when I'm reading like the Martin Popoff Rush books, I'll play those Rush albums.
Ooh, okay.
While I'm reading about it. So like when he talks about certain songs, like I'm listening to that album or that song, or like when I read. There was a nice black, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a nice black metal book. They're actually doing a special edition of it. It's coming out. Anyway, when I read that, like I would listen to the bands that I was reading the chapter about.
Yeah.
So it's kind of absorbing it on two different levels.
Interesting.
But anyways, that's tough, dude. I don't think I could give up video games.
Okay.
I don't know if I could give up music though either. What the fuck, dude? I think the giving up the visual is easier because I literally listen to music every day, no matter what.
Yeah,
that's literally every day.
Yeah,
there's music on. So
I'm
gonna go with. I'm gonna pick Son-in-Law because I can avoid it easier.
Okay. Yeah, you just gotta stop.
What would you do?
I would do exactly the same thing. I'd do exactly the same thing. But it's also crazy because, like, again, in this fantastical universe, is you're only able to watch sport in person.
I didn't even think about sports.
Yeah, you watch sport in person.
Me.
So unless you go to the game, you can't see whatever your team. You can't watch Super Bowl. You can't watch the playoffs. You can't do this. You can't do that because it's all visual.
I literally I watched this. So like me and my brother, we get together when the Steelers are playing every Sunday or Monday, whatever they're playing. Usually every game, 17 games a year now, whatever.
Yeah.
So he could watch the games, but I'm watching Son-in-Law.
Yeah, in this universe, you guys are watching the same TV. You're watching Son-in-Law. He's watching the game.
So he's like narrating the game to me.
Exactly. He's like marking. He's like, "Oh shit, fucking Kenny Pickett."
But I could still listen to the game on the radio, right?
Yes, in that world,
I could get around. I could get around it that way.
Yeah.
If I look up pictures of the game, is it Son-in-Law? Like on Twitter?
No, I won't do it that way. I won't do it that way. No.
Is there highlights?
No, you can't. No, because it's moving. It's visual movements and what have you. Yeah.
Fuck. All right, I'm still going with my same answer because I think it's hard. I don't want to have to turn off music every day.
Yeah. But also, it would increase your.
That's a great song, but
it's a great song.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. There you go. I would echo that for exactly the same reasons.
Okay.
It'd also be crazy because, like, whenever you walk by, like, a TV or some shit at Best Buy, everyone else is seeing, like, the fucking ocean things or whatever, right? You're seeing Son-in-Law. You're seeing Pauly Shore getting off the plane or whatever the hell. Hey!
Son-in-Law is the example to Preview new TVs.
It's a
Look how
demo.
good
It's
it
a demo
looks.
disc. Yeah. Yeah. All right. There you go.
All right. I'm gonna go with a pair of classic bands here. I know you have varying degrees of love for each.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the mighty Led Zeppelin
Ooh.
versus the Doors. Bin or spin?
I knew when you said Zeppelin, I knew you were going Doors. All right. So, that is super rough. That is super, super rough. It's like Zeppelin's more fun. Zeppelin's way more fun than the Doors is. I think the Doors is fun too, but they're fun in different ways. I also have more nostalgia with my dad with the Doors. I think for some reason, like, and I don't even think it's necessarily accurate. Possibly, if he was to choose, he might say Zeppelin. Actually, I don't actually even know, but in my brain, I feel like the Doors is more where he's at, or was at. Oh, shit. I think I would spin Zepp and bin Doors, I guess. Wow. Which is crazy because also it just means I was gonna kill money either way. I was gonna fucking just burn the money either way at this point. So I have spent more money on Zeppelin than I have Doors. So it's burned less money maybe.
You can still keep the shit. It's just
yeah, but it's useless. Literally useless. It's
literally useless.
Yeah, it's literally useless to me. Yeah, I think I still have a lot of fun listening to fucking all the Zeppelin songs, no matter what. It's still fun to me. I'll still put on a fucking live set or some shit or whatever. It's still cool and it's all clean and whatever. The Doors just doesn't hit that same way. So Saturday cleaning music, the Zeppelin hits that more than the Doors does. I'll bin the Doors and spin Zepp. That is fucking rough though. That is really rough.
Interesting aspect too. I didn't think about it too. It's like whatever you're binning, you could sell off. So maybe like I can get more financial gain by selling this stuff than this stuff. So I'll bin. You know what I'm saying?
That's a pretty solid angle. That's a pretty solid angle. Goddamn. All right.
But you're gonna keep Zeppelin.
I'll keep Zeppelin and go Doors. And Doors. All right. So I'll do one that's I don't know. I think I know your answer, but I don't know your answer if you go super deep on it. Bin or spin, North America versus Europe.
The continents?
The bands.
The band for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Please give me your diatribe on North America versus Europe. I'm like, Europe. How do you feel about that?
I live in one.
Yeah.
I mean, Europe probably has, based on time frame alone, probably more atrocities.
Yeah.
Just based on time frame, maybe not on weight.
Yep.
But anyway, so you're talking bands.
Yeah.
Man, you're getting rid of an entire continent of bands.
100%.
Dear Lord.
All eras, all genres, all everything. And I had to say North America. I was going to do the U.S. versus England. Or versus England versus Europe. I was going to do that. But then I was like, well, if I just do U.S., that does cut Rush off. So that's why I said North America. Then I include all the Canadians as well.
Yeah, that's rough. I'm surprised you just didn't. I mean, it might be on your list, but you could just do Rush versus Maiden. Like, that's basically this question.
Well, there's caveats.
But then you just lump everything else in too.
All eras, all years, everything.
Holy shit, dude.
It's very broad, but you got to think about it.
My first instinct right now is to bin North America.
Wow. Okay.
Because I feel like when I listen to shit on Sirius, I feel like I hear more like English bands and shit.
Okay.
Like Sabbath and Priest and Maiden and,
yeah,
etc. And then plus I have all the Norwegian black metal, and then you get the Swedish mellow death and all that shit that I love.
Yeah.
North America, though, you're getting rid of fucking Just everything.
Yeah. Everything you have because your nostalgia is from you're a child. You weren't really into that many European bands at that point. So
yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think that's the way I would go. I think I would bin North America and I would spin Europe. Honestly,
okay.
I think there's more to discover still in my life, in my musical journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of the reasoning.
Yeah.
I honestly do. It's rough because, like I said, you're basically pitting Rush
That's
against everything else.
yeah, that's part of it.
But yeah, I think that's part of my reasoning there. Yeah, I think there's still more to discover. I think a lot of that shit that I think I listen to a lot of European stuff more now
Okay.
than I do North American stuff. I don't know. It'd be really weird to try to quantify, but I feel that's the way.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a rough deal.
That's
man.
a good one. That's a good one. Just for you. I mean, there's bands for you. Where would you go?
Yeah. No, it's hard as shit. So I don't know, man. It's really rough. Because I was thinking about that for myself. Because especially like if we look at it through the angle of like public life, some of the biggest bands of all time came from England. Like, so you're missing out just walking through your life. You're missing out on so much shit. And there's so much static and so much silence or whatever the fuck that you're hearing every fucking day. You're walking in the store or some shit. It's insanity, right? Not even just your favorite bands, just in general, just music.
Yeah, I mean, just talking. You're binning the Beatles. You're binning Zeppelin. Yeah. You're binning Billy and other acts.
Yeah. I think I would go North America. Yeah, it's true. I think I would go North America. Because
I think your favorite bands list are probably all North American acts.
More North American bands. Yeah, especially current bands for sure. A lot more. Almost all of them, honestly. Current bands, like currently still happening bands. Yeah, almost all of them are North America at this point. So like, I would still have an ability to add to like my favorite bands. But if I went Europe, that means I pretty much kill them off, and that would suck. Yeah, I'd go North America, I think, at this point in my life. It would be fucking rough and it'd be really weird.
Yeah, that's a good one. I got a few more here. So we could I know you brought more than I did, so I guess we could probably just go. I think we're about an hour, so
okay.
I think we can just go until my list finished because I had a shorter list. Let's go with, I'm going to save those. Those are the heavy hitters.
Okay.
Let's go with, I think, is very easy one for you, but it'd be very interesting just to hear your response and reasoning. I know where you're going with this, but bin or spin, David Bowie or Bruce Springsteen?
Oh, shit. So that's familiarity versus like still to come stuff, because for Bowie, I honestly have not dove into every Bowie, especially not the new ones, like the ones that still come out every fucking night. It's still hard for me to keep up because there's so much shit that still keeps coming out from the estate or whatever, right? And with Bruce, while there is some of that, I guess, for stuff that still can come out. I just have such an attachment to Bruce songs, man. Like I have like those records and especially a good handful and a half of songs. I can't imagine never hearing those songs again. For Bowie, that sucks. It's rough. Like I said, it would give me more to listen to because there's more, even in death, more Bowie records coming out of this record at this point, and Bruce is alive and well, and hopefully remains that way. Yeah, I think I'm spinning Bruce. I'm binning Bowie, and that's fucking rough. That's a rough.
That's where I thought you were gonna go.
Yeah. It's, but that's so, because like I said, it's just you're coming your comfort food, like your comfort food versus your unknown, right? And me coming back, that's very on brand for me actually, because I'm very much a comfort food fucking listener, watcher, everything. I'm very much so that guy.
Yeah,
so it's kind of brand for me.
I am the same way, but I try not to be. I actively try not to be.
You're definitely better than me. You're definitely.
like I try to force myself. Like I actually started for this year. I haven't told you this, but I started a listening journal. So I try to,
Okay.
when I listen to an album all the way through, I try to write down the album
Thoughts.
and like just like a few sentences.
Basic. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to kind of
Interesting.
keep
That's a
track,
call.
and it helps me absorb music, because I think about when I was doing like newspaper and stuff in school, like I absorbed music so easily back then, and it was a lot of times because I was like listening for reviews and shit. So
Yeah.
or stuff that I want to write about this. So
You really like assignments. Like you really like purposeful
oh
listening.
yeah, I love
That's
the
like
rankings.
yeah, you fucking love that. Like it's not that I don't love that, but it's like you look at it as an opportunity. I almost look at everything as almost, even things I like. I kind of look at it as almost as homework, and like
Yeah.
even the shit I fucking like. It's like if you have to listen to fucking, I have to listen to fucking, Heroes or some shit. You gotta fucking listen. You gotta listen to. You gotta do a breakdown of all fucking 10 songs. You gotta fucking do it. I'm sorry, you gotta do it. I don't want to fucking do that. I don't. Okay, but it's But if I would listen to that regardless, whatever, right? It's fucking rough. Like I think that's where again. I still like the ranking. I still like the ranking. I still like diving into the fucking ranking.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But yeah, it's you like
It's just a
digesting
different.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a rough one though.
Yeah. What you got?
Definite. All right. Here we go. Got two for you, two fucked out bands, two bands that you aren't necessarily super fucking keen on, just overall. While being into, you're fucked out. Guns versus Motley.
It's kind of tough, but I think that's really easy, because right now, where we currently stand in time, I'll put it this way. I think Guns, they have the much smaller output. I think it's the better overall output, though.
Yeah.
Whereas Motley, I like the songs that you like. I don't like. I've tried to listen to those records, and like some of the deep cuts and shit. Like I don't care. Like to me, they're a singles band. They're a hits band. I could get away with just the greatest hits. And if I never heard the greatest hits again, I wouldn't cry. So, and we were talking about potentially seeing Guns, where I don't want to see Motley Crue, especially now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think I'd bin Motley Crue and I'd spin Guns.
Okay, fair enough. I go the same way.
Yeah. I honestly think like Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. I think that's and Appetite in there. Appetite's more fucked out, obviously, for me. But I think Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. I'd rather listen to those records way more than anything Motley Crue's ever put out.
As a cohesive unit.
Yeah. I think I'd rather listen to Chinese Democracy way more than anything, because that record's interesting.
Yeah, I'm with
not you. Not all of it hits home, but at least it's like we're gonna try what Axel's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants and try to do different shit. It's not just Appetite 2. Whereas Motley, when's the last time Motley had fucking? What's the last fucking important record? Theater of Pain?
90.
Like 80 or Dr. Feelgood? 90 or whatever? 89?
Yeah. No, 100%. What's crazy is I remember us. Like, I think about that anytime I think about Chinese Democracy, every time I ever hear a song off that, I think about you and I being in the fucking my old apartment and listening to Chinese Democracy after I bought the record. And we listened to the first time together, and we were both like, because obviously all the conversation, everything was about how fucking awful and crazy and weird it is and everything else, right? And then we listened to it, we were like, okay, this is not bad. It's not Guns N' Roses like you would fucking imagine Guns N' Roses would be, right? From what you know, but obviously it's not that band anymore, so it's a very, very different thing. It's Axl doing whatever he wants to do, the weird stuff, right? And I remember I just remember that we sat there in a room listening for fucking whatever 45 minutes or an hour, just listening to this fucking record. We'd never done that before, or really since, actually, for a whole record, just sitting there and actively listening to it. I just remember that all the time. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm echoing the exact same thing, because I think that Guns can be infinitely more interesting than what Motley would be if you have to listen to all of Theater of Pain, all of Girls, 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 all that shit. You just, and even if like, it's all the same. It's all just fucking partying and fucking girls and bullshit and this and that, drugs and everything else. Like it's all the same shit over and over again. And just to like lessening fucking or to diminishing returns. Every fucking song that you get further and further away from the fucking hits, just bullshit. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
But fair enough. There you go.
That's a good one though. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I bought Chinese Democracy too. I bought it at Fry's Electronics.
Yes, you did.
So
I think we might listen to your copy.
Maybe
I could be lying to you. I don't.
That's an instant vinyl regret right now coming to me because I don't even know how much that fucking thing is now. Thousands of dollars.
I don't think it's as much as you think it is. It was
really
cheap as shit for.
It's got to be out of print. It's got to be out of print though.
Oh, it's absolutely out of print. But I think that let's hold on. Let's just do this real quick. So if we're looking at this collection.
Yeah, I'd be
$50.
50? It's not too bad.
$50.
Isn't it clear?
No, it's I think mine's black.
Why do I remember a clear one? I don't know what I'm thinking of. Pretty sure I bought it at Fry's Electronics though.
I'm almost positive you did.
For like dirt cheap. Like
yeah, it was on Amazon, like legitimately on Amazon for probably up until like 4 or 5 years ago for $20 all day, and they would reduce it all the time, and it was on there forever like that.
Yeah, remember when it came out as a Best Buy exclusive?
Yeah, 100%.
Originally.
Yeah, it had the stickers on there and shit. I remember that, and I also remember for years, it would show up at Zia not all the time, obviously, but every so often it showed up at Zia, and yeah, it was $20, $15 or some shit. There were just so many out there. And I assume that probably Geffen pressed a billion copies because they're like, we got to make our money back somehow. Like we've done already sunk costs, whatever. Might as well, see if we can make anything back. But yeah. Interesting. All right, there we go.
All righty. My next one, let's go a little bit more fun one. Let's see here. I want to gauge because I want to bring this record like every time we do this and pair it against different things. But I want to rise it up the ranks and see how long you'll keep choosing this record until I can find the one that it loses to. So I'm going to go with What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis.
Okay. Yep.
Versus Maybe You've Been Brainwashed Too.
Wow.
By the New Radicals.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So, again, Oasis have become a very, very big part of my listening life here. All right. So, I love Morning Glory a lot. Okay, I do. And just looking at this, the first 5 songs are fucking killer. And then you skip, or the first 4, and then you skip Hey Now, and you skip Swamp Song. And you go, Some Might Say, Cast No Shadow, skip She's Electric. It's fine. Morning Glory, like there's, and Champagne Supernova, Talk Tonight, Acquiesce. That's such a fucking heavy hitter record. So I don't think it's not a bad question on your end whatsoever, because I do fucking love that New Radicals record so much. And I will constantly fucking wave that flag. It's one of the best records, if not, and I think at one point I said it's the best pop rock record to come out of the 90s. I've said those words before.
Yeah. You gonna kill the bit right now?
It's so rough. So, okay.
So I thought I was gonna do this like month to month, like whenever we did this, I was gonna pair it against a different record. So if you kill it right now, I mean, go do what you want to do. But
no, I'm with you. All right. So I'm gonna go with New Radicals just for this reason. Though. I'm gonna go with New Radicals because I like other Oasis records more than I like Morning Glory. The first record for me personally, definitely maybe is a better record.
Okay.
That's a record. Every fucking song is just boom, 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 boom.
Okay. All right.
And any album. Okay, so don't do this, because if you want to keep this bit going, don't do this. But don't do next month or whatever we do this again. Don't do Definitely Maybe against
All right.
the New Radicals record, because
Okay.
I will not put down a record that has cigarettes and alcohol on there, or Columbia, or Live Forever, or Rock and Roll Star, or
Okay.
Slide
All right.
Away. I will not put that record. I'll have to choose it. So to keep the bit going, for you, and I'm not wrong. I'm not lying to you when I say this. I'm going the New Radicals record, because it's so fucking.
Okay.
So yeah, New Radicals.
All right, well,
maybe Rush 2 was the spin, and then Morning Glory is the bin.
we'll see how high it can get on the ranking. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, good one.
All right, love it. That's a rough. Good call. All right. So here's so we got two more. You got one more left.
Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3. I technically have 4 left. So whatever you want to do.
Do you want to do 2 more and then keep the
Let's
others?
do 2 more. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So would you rather, or bin or spin experiences now? One you did, one you didn't do. Okay. Bin or spin, going to Big Four, or going to Rush's last show in LA?
Okay, so like we did Big Four, but I would have to bin it and forget it.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone.
So I forget about it.
Yeah. You didn't go.
That's rough, because
like
honestly,
we all went. So like we still all went and we did it, but you just don't have the memory.
That's rough, honestly, because I think Big Four, like that whole, it's honestly, everything that's surrounding it was honestly almost more fun than the actual show. The show is great, but it's just the story of getting there, doing the stupid shit, the all food fight, the pit out front, the almost t-shirt guy literally almost dying to anthrax. Being completely sunburned, Josh getting hit with the sunscreen.
We had welts on our faces.
not even paying attention to Metallica. Like everything is Colin getting pissed on for the drive home.
We've told this story to each other a million times. Never
almost dying on the way home because we all are fucking sleep deprived. Josh eyes. And then you got to go with like, I didn't go to R40. I didn't go to that tour because I remember thinking, God, it's a Rush. They'll be back.
Yeah.
And like that show is so impressive. And they knew, the guys knew what was going on because the way they do that tour, they do it backwards. The set is, have you ever watched any of that show? It's crazy.
You told me about it. I think I have, but you've told me about a lot of it. Yeah.
So
they do the garage and stuff or whatever.
It goes backwards in time. Yeah. So they start with like current day Rush and they go back through the eras and they end in like a gym, like a high school gym hall, basically. And it's cool as they go, like the crew's taking shit off the stage. Yeah. So like they lose pieces of gear, and that last show, like Neil crosses the line. Like he never went out in the front of the stage. He never really stayed and bowed with the guys. And then he did that last show. It's really powerful shit. Holy shit, this is probably the best one you've did so far. So like I would have the opportunity to go back in time, go to Rush's last show, and then have that memory forever. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
But I lose the Big Four memory, like it replaces it in the hard drive.
Correct, Mindo.
All right. I'm gonna go with Rush. Wow. I'm gonna spin Rush and bin Big Four. Here's my reasoning. It's because if you guys are nice, you could do like a 51st dates thing where you're always reminding me of Big Four.
I don't remember that.
So like,
what are you talking about? No.
So maybe I could remember it for like those couple hours, but then I forget about it the next day. It's like Drew Barrymore. So I think that's because that. Not going to R40 is like a big musical regret of mine because I had the opportunity, like I was happening as an adult, and I just actively chose not to go. So
I remember.
So yeah, that I would go with that simply for that reasoning. That's a tough one though. You might
Yeah,
ask that tomorrow, and I might choose the opposite. So
that's
really
fair.
good one, really
Yeah, yeah.
good one.
All right.
All right. So my I got two more. So one before the last one. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna save that one for later. Let's go with another album comparison here. Bin or Spin? Blink 182's Untitled
Oh wow.
versus, and I think I'm choosing the right record. It might be the record before this. We've talked about both of them. Versus 9 Inch Nails, Year Zero.
Ooh. All right. Um.
I was thinking it was between that or With Teeth, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you like Year Zero more, but
Okay. So I like both of them a lot. I think I'm more nostalgia with Keith.
oh
So
fuck, okay. I was trying to go
you're-
nostalgia, so because
okay.
Year Zero
Well, okay.
is
So
07, and I'm like, we were kind of more happening in 07 than like 04 or
yeah.
whatever. So all right.
Yeah. Or 5, I think, right? Or something like that. But okay. So if you want to flip it, or you want to not? You want to flip it with Teeth?
No, just do
That's
Year
the
Zero. It's
angle.
fine.
Okay. All right.
No, you can go Year Zero.
So shit. So Year Zero is a fucking it's a really interesting record. There was so much that happened with that. Um, if anybody is ever a Nine Inch Nails fan or if you're curious, and you weren't able to experience Year Zero in the time it was happening, they made an entire massive universe and an interactive alternate universe game online with 100 websites set up and audio recordings and all kinds of crazy shit. What's it called? It's called a alternate or ARG, I guess, alternate reality game, whatever. But it was just super crazy. They put Easter eggs on everything, and they had Easter eggs on T-shirts. They would sell different T-shirts every night, and it would look like a regular T-shirt. And like people would have to go decipher, like on the back with the dates, it would have certain letters that were cut out or whatever, and they'd have to put all those together, and whatever. People had to dissect. To go even crazier here, people had to dissect audio recordings and just sounds and shit, and it was like Morse code, and people went into the sound file, dissected the sound waves, and used that to input into websites to be able to find what they're referencing. It's fucking next level insane shit that I don't understand how it happened. And I'm kind of convinced a little bit that the Nine Inch Nails team put that stuff out there once they realized, like, hey, no one's gonna actually do this. They did it themselves, and they acted as fans or whatever, and they're the ones that found stuff. I actually believe that, but maybe it's not true. Maybe Nine Inch Nails fans are that crazy, which is probably true. Anyway,
Yeah.
So a lot of nostalgia for that as well, because I remember coming into school every day talking to Dylan about it. Like, did you hear? There's a new website. There's a new thing. Did you hear this?
I remember you talking about it and shit.
Yeah.
And like the few times I was ever interacted with you two together, I remember you guys talking about it. So
100%. Yeah, because at the moment it was like it was so much that because we go to Spanish and we would just talk and be like, hey, did you see the audio clip last night? Did you see that? Like we posted, did you download? Did you listen to this? Did you listen to that? Because it was so much not even about the music for a lot of it. It was so much more about the story and about the entire game, right? It was crazy to experience that. So that's fucking crazy. I love that. I loved every moment of that and still love that. Anima though.
And I guess for this, no, not Anima. I chose Untitled.
Oh, I'm sorry, Untitled. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But I guess for this experience, you would still remember all that build up and hype. So
okay, all right, fair enough. So just going for the music. Okay, so that record is still fucking killer. I love Year Zero. Every song on that's so fucking cool, and just the story it tells, everything's super cool. So for Untitled, that would actually be a really interesting if you ever wanted to push that one. Like I know you want to do that with the new Radicals record. It would be really fucking hard for me to choose anything against Untitled. It'd be so hard because I was so much attached to that record. Today, I could listen to the record every day of my life and be okay. It's one of my favorite albums ever. If the story was like I had to pick one over the other and only listen to Untitled for the rest of my life or something else, whatever, I would probably pick that every day of the week. It's still so interesting to me. I still hear so many different new things on there. It's still crazy to me that like as limited as Tom and Mark are as musicians, Travis, not so much he can do anything. He's crazy and amazing. But as limited as they are as musicians, they still managed to fucking write one of the greatest records of that era and of that genre. They went so far outside of of where they were previously. It was such a departure from everything else they ever did. And then it hit me so hard because it was 03. So I'm 12. I'm going into middle school. I don't know about the emotions. I don't know about like how I'm going to feel about things, about life, about what's happening, the new journey of going to middle school, big bad middle school, and meeting new people and like dealing with all kinds of people that I have no idea who exist. All the schools coming together, right? It's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I just dove into that record every fucking day. I listened to that record nonstop every night. I listened to the record every day. I listened to the record. Just wore it out, man. And then also it's the first time I ever heard The Cure. Like I heard Robert Smith. The first time I ever did that was on that record. So opened up a whole new avenue to me. Not that I'm a massive Cure fan, but that's I fucking love, you know, the 2 or 3 Cure records that I really know.
Yeah.
And so a whole different audience. And it kind of honestly like that record was so different because I really didn't listen to anything that was kind of even a little bit like that until Untitled, because it was just straight up pop punk stuff. Like I listened to them, Sum 41, Sugar Cult, you know, Green Day, you know, whatever. Like that was kind of where it was at, and that was the first record, Offspring. You know, that was the first record that was really a complete departure from that. So I would say Untitled. I would say that over year 0. It's rough. It sucks, but that's where I'd have to go because Untitled is just up there for me.
But we'll see. We'll see it because I was eventually going to work up to New Radicals versus Untitled. So
yeah, that's okay.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, what you got?
Okay, so for the next one I have here,
last one, make it last
one. Okay, all right. So make it a banger. Okay. I feel like... I
mean, no pressure.
Yeah, right? All right. So... All right. Bin or spin? Metal. This encompasses everything. Metal versus every other genre of music. So
you kind of broke up there.
Rock.
You kind of broke up there. So metal, like all metal genres?
All metal versus every other genre of music. So versus hard rock, versus rock and roll, versus classic rock, versus everything, all that stuff, like things that you know are not metal is what you're picking against. So also any pop, any easy listening, and like whatever acoustic stuff, whatever you want to do. So you're that guy now. You're that guy that only listens to metal. That's all you listen to all day, all night. It's only metal. You're that guy now.
So I'm getting rid of Rush.
Yep.
Any type of prog, yes. Genesis.
100%.
Ramones. You know, any type of pop. ABBA. Holy
Journey.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh my
also
God.
Any alternative grunge, whatever the fuck, all those things.
But on the other side, I'm giving up Sabbath and Maiden and Priest. And what about like Turbo? Can I listen to Turbo?
Ooh, good call. Inherently, that is metal. That is metal, man. Sorry. I know you love Turbo. I know you're a big Turbo fan, but you gotta give it up.
Turbo's metal. All right.
Turbo lover.
Can I listen to like Load and Reload?
Now we're getting technical. Yeah, you can listen to Load and Reload. That's hard rock. You can listen to Load and Reload. I'll do that.
Oh my gosh.
So it's metal.
I don't know, man. Because it's a really tough one because I go back and forth like a lot. Like I'll just like what was that? I was listening to Gojira yesterday. I've been listening to a lot of Gojira since I had the show. So I was listening to them yesterday at the gym and in the car. And then like today before we got on, I was listening to Speedwagon. So I go back and forth quite a bit. And usually it'll be like band to band, album to album, like in the same day.
Oh yeah.
For this experiment, Typo is a metal band, just a metal band adjacent. They fall under that category. They don't fall under like goth rock or. I always consider them just a metal band, but they are very different though because they have totally different styles.
You're right. You're right. That you can make your call on that. You can make it because you're much more of an expert on everything than I am. So you make your personal, good faith call.
All right. I'm not gonna dive on this too long. I think I'm gonna go
Semantics.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna bin every other genre.
Wow.
So now here's my reasoning. It's tough, dude. It's tough.
That's possible.
But I feel like I'm getting almost every other genre within metal.
Yeah,
that's why I love. That's why I love metal so much. No, like I feel like I'm getting within metal. Like I can listen to Sabbath, and that can tickle like early metal, classic rock, even a little prog. And then I could just listen to Dream Theater if I want to listen to like really just prog, but it's metal.
Okay.
And then if I want to listen to like death metal, there's still Death and Cannibal Corpse. But if I want to listen to like prog, there's prog death metal bands. If I want to listen to thrash, you listen to Metallica, Slayer. Like there's varying. You got black metal, and then you got ambient black metal, and you've got Enslaved, which does everything. Mastodon, similar vibes. So my reasoning behind that is I feel like within all the metal subgenres, I can get close to almost. And then if I really wanted to listen to like pop, like if I wanted to listen to like baby metal or something, that's very close to pop. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or you could listen to like if you consider like Motley Crue or shit like that metal.
Ooh. Yeah, technically, yeah.
I guess I would have to like play it to find out. It's like static, and I'm like, fuck. God damn it.
Fuck. Skip. Here we go. Okay, yeah.
So or like, some people like Deep Purple. Some people consider Deep Purple metal. It depends, so or if you still consider Def Leppard, like Hysteria is the best pop record ever to me. Like it's up there with fucking Thriller. But if you still consider Def Leppard a metal band, like there you go. So I guess it just depends on how Spotify's ranking them that day or whatever
it's true. That's
subgenre is. So I think that's my reasoning. And I feel like there's way more discovery still to be made in that shit. And the newer bands that I listen to are oftentimes way more metal bands. I discovered new bands through metal way more often than I do like some radio band.
Yeah.
That's just like a generic rock band or a pop act or something.
But you do lose all nostalgia. Everything you ever listened to prior to being really into metal, you lose it all.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's rough because I was thinking like Rush, that's gone, That's rough.
Alice in Chains,
I don't know.
gone.
Yeah. Alice in Chains not metal? All right.
No, they're not.
Right. Okay.
Right. Don't try to fucking scam me here, motherfucker.
All right. All right. I'm still gonna go with my reasoning. I'm still gonna go with my answer. I'm gonna lock it in.
Christ. All right.
I listen to Van Halen, okay, not Van Hagar.
Fair enough. Yeah. That's. I don't know. I honestly thought that because I know you don't want. That's not your personality to be a metal guy. That's not your personality to be the metal guy where you only listen to metal. Because I know you like to be diverse and you like to listen to different shit. And kind of
you don't have to act like that though.
No, I know. I'm talking about just the way you listen, like the way you listen to stuff. Like I know you like to tickle a lot of fancies, right? So I was thinking, I don't know. Like I think you might be able to tickle the metal fancy with just hard rock stuff. I was like, I don't know. Maybe that could be a thing for him.
I get what you're saying, but I'm going the other way with it. Like I feel like I could get close to almost everything else with metal. Yeah.
That's fair. Good call.
So
that's nuts. That's a hard one. There you go.
My last one. It's probably the biggest one on the list. I should probably save this one, but we'll just do it. We'll do it right now. It's the biggest. It's the big one. It's probably the biggest one I could think of.
All right.
I'm gonna go with bin or spin.
Okay.
Manchester Orchestra versus the boss, Bruce Springsteen.
Wow. All right. Okay.
So this might be the biggest one I could ever do for you.
That's probably
it's the new, I guess, for the last whatever amount of years. Favorite band versus favorite act person almost of life. So
yeah. got the shrine here. Well,
and then a band that you go see every time you travel for. So if you could still do that, but you're not hearing anything.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
So there you go. Choose it, bin or spin.
All right. So that is rough. Okay. I do have an answer for it. And not that it was a quick answer, but I just look at more of an opportunity.
Okay.
Bruce is 74 years old. Okay. He's got more days behind him than he does in front of him, as far as I know, even with his high level income. Okay. Don't think he's gonna live to $145 here, right? So it sucks to think that I would have to abandon everything I like, all the records, all everything I kind of go to when I listen to Bruce. I have to abandon those and kind of let them go and just they go into the ether and be silence. That would suck a lot. Also, have spent way too much money on Bruce stuff over the years.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you might as well sell it all off.
Might as well sell it all off, exactly, because it's just useless. Manchester is still in they're a new band in relative to Bruce. I do travel for all those shows and stuff every year, and have been lucky enough to be homies with those dudes. And it would be hard to explain, like, hey man, I heard the new record. Nah, listen to it. I got nothing, man. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's just static. And then you have to explain that to somebody, and they just know what you're talking about. And you have to explain that Natural's real and stuff, all that, which is really, that's a really tough bargain. I'm never gonna have to talk to Bruce. I'm never gonna talk to Bruce in my life, but I'll talk to those dudes.
True.
And never have to explain that to Bruce. But all right, yeah, I'm going with Manchester over Bruce, and that's rough. That's really
a good reasoning. That's
but it does open me up to things in the future. I know what I have with Bruce already for the most part. I mean, he could still put out new records. He could still do that, and he still will, hopefully, knock on wood. But I don't know what's in the future for Manchester, so I'm going to Manchester Orchestra over Bruce Springsteen as of right now. There we go.
Okay, gotcha.
That is rough. Now, that's a rough one.
Oh yeah, I knew that was like probably the toughest one I could choose. But all right, for that example, you kept memories. Like you kept Springsteen memories. You kept seeing him. You had memories of the songs, buying records, discovering things, getting introduced to it as a kid. Let's go in the alternate reality that you lose everything. You don't even know the dude exists anymore. So you literally lose everything. Like you lose like your parents, all that. You don't know any about that. You lose seeing him, going to those shows. So let's do that one and see what you do. And that'll end the evening.
Yeah. That is so fucking rough.
Yeah, it's different when you're like you lose literally all memory. That's why the Big 401 was hard.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Because at least I'd be relying on that memory, right? Okay, if we redo that, I'll flip it. Okay. So I would lose my conversation with my parents, my dad about stuff. I'd lose that. I'd lose his memories of seeing Bruce and whatever. I'd lose that. That sucks. Those conversations and stuff. Yeah, I would
on the other side though.
Okay.
On the other side though, you lose the Manchester memory. So you lose going to those shows, meeting people, knowing the guys, learning,
and everything.
Yeah, basically growing up with that band that you have.
100%, 16 years deep here. Yeah, I'm basically losing my childhood in the first part of my life versus my future and like what's more coming up.
Yeah, very true.
And my therapist can probably dissect that a little more than I can, but I would pick. Yeah, I'd pick to maintain the Bruce memories and the Bruce the Manchester stuff. If we had to flip it that way, where it was
All right,
completely
gotcha.
you had nothing and wiped the slate clean, I would do that. Yeah, that's a rough one though. Good
That's
lord.
interesting.
Fuck. That's a
I
rough.
really like this because it's kind of an interesting like insight into a person's psyche, like how much nostalgia and memories and family and stuff like that weighs on you compared to like the potential of future stuff or the now. Really interesting.
100%.
Really yeah, this is a fun one. And like I said, we could bring this back, every month or every other month, or
I can do this every week. We can do this every fucking week and get more weird answers. For sure.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it every episode. Do one topic an episode, or like one per one each episode, just as like an ending bit, something like that. So, but anyways, guys, if you made it this far, you usually are in for a special treat because we always choose the topic. I chose tonight's topic of bin or spin, so it's Tyler's choice tonight. Before we get to the end, you made it this far, so hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below, leave some bin or spins down there, leave some potential topics for future episodes, bin or spin wise, that we can ask each other, or leave. I'm sure you play these games, so leave some shit that you would ask other people too. It's interesting to me. And we appreciate any and all support here on the channel. So thanks, guys. But Tyler, let us know what next week's topic is.
All right. So we did the sister topic of this already, and then we talked about doing this at some point down the road, and we're going to do it. Favorite sophomore releases from a band. So we did debut albums. And a lot of bands we like, maybe the debut album isn't necessarily our favorite record, so maybe it didn't make the list of favorite debut. But the sophomore release, because you have your whole life to write the first record, right? You have the whole life to write the first record.
Mm-hmm.
With the sophomore record, you could be, it could go either way. You're either really successful in the debut, you have to follow it up, and there's a lot of pressure on you to make that sophomore also hit, or the debut did nothing, and you have even different, weirder pressure, or maybe no pressure, who knows? But you have different pressure on you to make that sophomore happen, because if you don't, then you're done, and themes and what have you, and all that stuff. So favorite sophomore releases is where I was going right now.
Yeah, I like that topic. I think it's a little bit better than the debut. I think the debut shit's kind of overdone.
Yeah,
and I think you get more interesting records.
I would tend to agree with that. Yeah, absolutely, because you have more life experience. Like, well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say more like, because obviously, like I said, you just have your whole life to write the first one, but you have a whole different fucking idea of your
different
life,
perspective.
Your perspective in your art, everything else you want it to be. Like, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, good choice. But anyways, guys, that's what you have to look forward to next week here on the channel. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time. Peace.